Welcome to the Local Domination Podcast, your ultimate guide to get local clients fast. Featuring interviews with local marketing and lead generation experts who will show you exactly how to attract local clients and dominate your market. And now, here's your host, Doran Aldana.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Local Domination Podcast with Doran Aldana, your ultimate guide to get local clients fast. Today, we have a very special guest, Feuza Reis, and she is a SEO expert on steroids. I can't wait to learn from you and find out more about how we can do this stuff that seems so complicated for most business owners, this thing called SEO, and make it simple. So, Feuza, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm super excited, especially since you cover local, which is truly my passion.
Fantastic. Well, yes. And of course, everyone listening here, I'm assuming, is a local business. So they may be just as curious as I as to how to make this complicated thing called SEO simple in the eye of the local business owner. So today we're going to talk about how to rank in Google and get found by local clients with Feuza. And for those of you who are not familiar with Feuza, just a quick introduction for you, best known as Feuza. Feuza is a blogger, photographer, and SEO strategist who helps creative entrepreneurs and bloggers get found online. She also teaches online SEO classes on topics such as WordPress SEO, Pinterest SEO, and getting found on social media, and a whole whack more. So without further ado, Feuza, let's pitter-patter and get at her, shall we?
We shall. I'm super excited.
Fantastic. Before we get into questions, why don't we just share a little bit about your story? How did you get into this SEO thing, and how did you get into doing what you do now as an SEO expert?
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a crazy story. I've never imagined being here and teaching something that just feels so techie because I'm a total non-techie person. So basically, I started my photography business around almost 9 years ago. And at the time, I really was just a mom with two kids under the age of 3. And social media really helped me just really make connections online. At the time, it was Twitter. I was able to connect with local vendors because I do believe clients come from 3 places. It's either client referral, vendor referral, or online. And a few years after that, after I started my photography business and got into wedding photography, a fellow photographer introduced me to SEO. And it was like love at first sight, but there was a big problem. It did feel like an old men's country club where I, this Brazilian, Jersey-raised mom, which knew no HTML talk or SEO talk, was not welcomed or invited. But the curiosity got the best of me, and I started applying what I did understand after just studying, and I started seeing results. And then I started becoming known as an SEO expert within the photography industry because anytime anyone had a question, I would basically answer it. And then after joining kind of my passion for online marketing, I launched my first SEO bootcamp for photographers. And that was 5 years ago.
Very cool. So it sounds to me like it wasn't necessarily a planned, clean, simple roadmap, but it was really just following your passion, following your gifts and talents, your curiosity, as you call it. And here you are today teaching other business owners how to make this SEO thing simple and, most importantly, get results from it. So that's very cool. And I, like many people listening, find SEO, frankly, quite overwhelming. It's something I shy away from just because it seems like it's only something that those super Yoda smart SEO experts with the propeller heads can really get and understand. Not to mention, it just seems like a lot of minutia. So what I'm wanting to do today is take the complex and make simple so that a local business owner can take these tactics, these strategies, these ideas, and actually turn them into more cash in their wallet. Get the cash registry ringing more often with more zeros and commas. And what I love about what you bring to the table is your passion and your real world in the trenches expertise. So I'm super stoked to learn more about what you've learned along the way through the real life, school of hard knocks, as opposed to
Yes.
just learning from a book. So let's start off with the first question. What's the simplest and most practical thing, Feuza, a local business owner can do to attract local clients online? What would that one thing be?
Sure thing. I like to say that it's funny that what happens with my students, client, and even clients, it's not that business owners want to learn SEO. They just really want to learn how to get found online so they could book new clients, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just to answer, sometimes SEO could just be this daunting word. Just to answer what even is SEO is, it stands for search engine optimization. And I like to think of it as there are things that you can manually do just to boost your online presence or your website and blog in order to show up in Google search results. So the foundation for building your home on the web, as far as SEO is concerned, is text. Overall, search engines, they don't see photos or videos, but it's really all about text. So as a local business owner, where you're located, right, is really important. Having that local SEO text on your website on as many pages as you can. So if you are brick and mortar, it's really important to have your address listed. If you are a service-based business, let's say you, like a photographer that works from home, you could at least mention the cities that you serve on your homepage, contact page, and about page. So the next step is really developing what the SEO world called keywords. And keywords are just a set of words, phrases that users, your clients, are typing into Google to find things related to your business. So once we start really thinking a little bit more like how our client searches and like how our client would search for the services that we offer, then we could start tweaking text on our website, and then especially with our blogging in order for us to be found. But one thing that I think business owners, there's like a missed opportunity where instead of thinking like, okay, I really want to be found for Myrtle Beach, plumber, Myrtle Beach wedding photographer. And they think that, if you're going to be, that's it, right? I have to be on page one for that term. And that's what's going to bring those inquiries in. That's what's going to bring those clients in. But the problem with that is that there's 150 other photographers also thinking the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you stand out? How do you stand out from the crowd, I mean? Well, that is definitely with being a resource for your clients and content. So one big tip is, I'm a big lover of blogging. I know blogging is not for everyone, but there are so many ways you can microblog nowadays, even with social media. But think of the top 3 to 5 FAQ questions that you always get in regards to your product or your service, and turn those into blog posts, right? I have a saying that I want a client to find me before they know they need me. So a client, when they're thinking and considering of a service, a product, a dream vacation, they really like to imagine, they like inspiration, they like to research. So when you're creating different pieces of content on your website and being a resource that way, even if it's a really great FAQ page, when they start typing, then your post comes up, or a pin can come up. So there's various ways for you to show up in Google, and it's not just that Myrtle Beach wedding photographer. So I call that the UFC ring, where everyone's battling it out, right, for a competition. But
Mm-hmm.
I want to be by the beach, right? I want to be sipping this like drink, this nice beachy drink. And in order to do that, the number one tip is be a resource for your client. You have to know who your client is, the age group or profession, and think about also, as far as what to blog about, think about what topics or what things that keep your client up at night. So if my ideal audience is a mom, she's usually looking for things to do in her town as a mom. So that would be a great blog post. If I could blog things to do with your kids in the fall or in the Christmas in my blog, and kind of be an own tourist in my town and blog that. So joining FAQ and general topics that your ideal clients would need help with, and making those into blog posts, or those into videos on YouTube, or those into Facebook Live stories, right? Because there's different ways that you can blog as well.
Wow, there's a lot there. That's some
Sorry,
power-packed
I
goodness.
kind of went on.
So a few things to unpack there. No, I love it. I love it. There's so much nectar in what you just shared there. So one of the things you mentioned is text. That's the foundation. So having the business name, address, and phone number located throughout the website,
Yes.
then determine the target keyword phrase. So in other words, what are your prospective clients actually searching for on the web? And then use that to determine the content to deliver. So rather than
Yes.
going after the same type of keyword phrase as everyone else and just providing ads that get them to, try and go after what you've got right from the get-go, give them content so that they find you before they need you, as you say. And so
Yes.
FAQ questions, having a blog, you mentioned a variety of different formats. What's the best format for this content? Like, is it best just to do text blogs, or is it best to do video? And if you do video, where's the best place to put that video? Is it just YouTube, or is it Vimeo?
Okay.
Do you do all of it? Do you do because obviously most of the people listening, they have plenty of ambition, but they're short on
Right.
time. So the
Oh,
question is, how do they get the biggest bang for their buck with all the options that are available when it comes to the content format?
Sure. And I'm going to answer that in two answer questions. So the first is I strongly believe that blogging matters because I really think a blog can give you a voice, right? I once heard that your website is a handshake, but your blog is your voice. So I'm a big believer in blogging, and I do love WordPress. That is the platform that I use, but there's other platforms that you can use. As well, Squarespace, Wix, even Tumblr. There's other platforms. My favorite is WordPress. As far as social media is concerned, I think the big struggle with business owners is that we're so busy, right? We're like in that hamster wheel working in our business that we feel this pressure to be everywhere. And there's so much social media and new things, right? Shining objects comes out every week.
Mm-hmm.
Need to step back and this is what's worked for me. So the secret formula I believe for social media marketing is answering a few questions. Number one is, where's your audience? Because if I tell you, hey, I love Pinterest, but if your audience is not there, if your audience is like male CEO, right? Like CEOs of big companies, they're most likely not on Pinterest. So you have to know where your audience is at, right? Number one. And
Mm-hmm.
number two is, which platforms do you enjoy, right? That's important. For me, I can honestly find a bunch of clients on LinkedIn, but that is not a platform I enjoy. So I stay away from LinkedIn. So I recommend you not using more than two social media platforms. Now, as far as video is the new black. Video is here to stay. Video is not going anywhere. And I think video is really important because it adds this 3D element to your brand and the person behind your brand, because people trust people, they don't trust companies. So seeing you in video is really important. But the great news about that is that these little Instagram stories, even Snapchat, I do prefer Instagram stories. This allows tidbits, and it doesn't have to be this huge video production like back in the day. Yes, I love YouTube because it is the second biggest search engine in the world, but it's hard to find time to really, because that takes production, planning, editing. But if you can add wherever the platform is you're using, if they have a video element, definitely embrace in that. Now I do see like Facebook as more of as more of a nourishing platform. So Facebook Lives and groups, if you run your own groups, which you can, is great, and on your business page, but those are more nourishing. Like a lot of people aren't really finding you on Facebook per se, but that is a platform where you can nourish your audience. And depending on the kind of business you are, if it's business to business, Periscope can be a great platform for that. But what I've seen lately that has had a big impact for brands and solopreneurs has been Instagram and Instagram stories. So I do like that as a video platform because it's super easy to use.
Very cool. Wow. Again, my head spinning with so many options.
Get this. Every day, local prospects are searching for your products or services online, and they're looking for someone they can trust. Are you capturing that business? How would you like to dominate the local search results with more 5-star rave reviews than any of your competitors, so you become the only logical, trusted choice? I call it Operation Domination. Download a free copy of our Ultimate Testimonial Toolkit now at mytestimonialengine.com/domination. Again, that's mytestimonialengine.com/domination and discover how to build your business at the speed of trust.
I'll give you an idea of what I've been doing recently, Feuza, just to give me some insight. Perhaps it'll shed some light on how we can streamline this and leverage it and use and repurpose as many parts of the pig as possible. Yes. I just decided recently, you know what, I'm going to put out some video. I've been kind of helter-skelter with video with my other company, mortgagemarketingcoach.com, where we serve mortgage professionals, help them with their marketing. And so I just decided, you know what, I'm going to crank out a series of videos all in one shot for a whole month in advance, one per week. So I literally sat down and in about half an hour, I rocked out like 5 videos, and they're about, 2 to 4 minutes long. And I was amazed how quick and easy it was. And then I sent it to my video guy. Thankfully, I found this guy on Upwork, used to be Elance, and he does all my editing. So I sent it to him, gave him the instructions. I said, I want 2 different versions. I want one for my blog and for YouTube, and I want one for Facebook, because on Facebook, you kind of need to have them have captions on them, right? Yes. So people can see what it's about without having to turn on the volume. And I got a transcriptionist for $5 per video.
Okay, I need this video editor info, just saying.
Yeah. And so I got this video guy to edit them and put an intro and an outro and the call to action with, offering a free coaching session. Then I got a transcriptionist for $5 per video to transcribe the thing. So now we can upload that transcription when we do the upload in YouTube. And we can also have it be captions in the Facebook version. So now we have 2 different versions of the video, YouTube and blog version and a Facebook version. And nice. Now I'm going to be uploading them by having my rep in the Philippines doing all that for me. I'm figuring out how to do it first, and then I'm going to create a little video demo, show them how to do it, and then have them handle it. So essentially, my goal is to just do these videos once a week, and once a month I sit down for half an hour, create the content, and then blast it out to these different places, Vimeo, YouTube, my blog, and Facebook. What am I missing? Am I missing anything here that could really pour gasoline on the fire, or am I hitting the sweet spot? Give me some feedback.
I think it's great. What I love what you're mentioning is you're establishing a workflow, right? Establishing workflow and automation is really important. So these have been kind of huge things for me in the last 6 months, just really like, okay, let's shave off inefficiency and let's just really get things done, right? Because as business owners, it's really easy to get distracted and not do those things that we need to do. I love that. And you bring up a really important, great point, which is repurposing content and making it snackable, right? Mm-hmm. So when I tell people that blogging matters, I automatically get this resistance, like, Feuza, what? I have no time. I'm not a writer. I don't have time to blog. But the cool thing is that blogging is about quality and not quantity. Essentially, you can blog once, twice a week, but then you get those blog posts and you make it into, little quotes on Twitter, or like you said, make smaller videos. And I think that's fantastic. So I'm happy to give you some YouTube SEO tips if you want.
That would be awesome, because certainly with video, YouTube is the big 8,000-pound gorilla. So let's keep things simple. There's a ton of minutia, a ton of nuances and advanced ninja stuff, but give us like the vital few, the top 3 most critical components when we're uploading our videos to YouTube, so they actually get found, so that we can actually get real targeted qualified prospects who convert into clients or customers.
Awesome. So the first thing would definitely be somewhere in your video having a call to action at the end, right? So for me, I'm always big on sending people back to where my brand base is. So I don't necessarily want them to stay on Pinterest or stay on Instagram, but I want them back to my home place. And for me, that's my blog. So having a call to action, maybe it's a freebie that you have, like you're doing the free coaching session, et cetera, is key, no matter what kind of video that you're doing. Then it also, secondly, the text. Text is going to be really important in your title and in your description. So some mistakes that I see business owners do is not fill out enough text in the title and in the description. So just really make it rich text, natural text, a few sentences in the description. Just think of like, what are the topics at hand? What is this video about? Who is this video for? And YouTube is the only place where I actually will put more tags in that tag section versus blogging, which is something I don't do much. Just think, and they do recommend like tags for you to add there that are related. So doing that. And last but not least, for me, I don't like to put in all my social media on the description in YouTube. I like to keep it simple because I don't want to confuse them and give them too many options. So I either will put just one or just my blog. So those are really the main thing. So if you're doing like mortgage marketing, is there a question that you're answering? What is the topic at hand? And you could always look up other videos too to see if they're adding more phrases and, how are people searching for this?
Very cool. I found another really awesome shortcut for learning this stuff, which I'll share with our audience. And that is, if you're wondering how the heck to do this, even after listening to Feuza sharing these golden nuggets of insight on SEO tactics, just type in the question in YouTube and you'll be amazed how much wonderful content there is in the form of videos and tutorials on how to optimize your videos for SEO. So if you're feeling a little flabbergasted, a little overwhelmed, chillax, my friend. Just grab your favorite bevy, open up YouTube, do a search for whatever you want, and kick back, relax, and watch the tutorials come through showing you exactly how to do it. All right, so beautiful. Let's continue, shall we? We still got a whole lot more to cover, and we still have about 10, 15 minutes to go. So let's get into our next question of the hour, and that is, what about local service pros who work from home? Do they have to list their home address, or should they somehow come up with a P.O. box or something like that to list their address for? How does that work?
Okay, great. And that brings up a really important point, which is if you want local clients to find you, you absolutely must list your business on Google. And a lot of my clients, sometimes they don't know if they are listed on Google, and they sent you a postcard at home. So you're probably going to remember that you got that postcard. But the cool thing is that you can actually hide your address in your Google business listing. And there is an option that says serve clients at their location. So you should really definitely list your business on Google, but you can hide your address. Google still needs your address, because what they're going to do is they're going to send you a postcard to verify that your location is correct, right? That that you're a business and your location is correct. So for the Google business listing, you have to click on where it says serve people at their home, and then it gives you the option to either do like by zip code, by cities, or by like a 50 miles radius. Once you are verified with your Google business listing, you definitely need to work on getting reviews. So I know, a lot of people, restaurants and different types of businesses like Yelp, some wedding businesses like Wedding Wire, but I strongly recommend that you work on getting those Google reviews and just sending your clients there. You need at least 5 reviews. So sometimes a competitor will outrank you because they really do have a lot more Google reviews. So regardless if you're brick and mortar or solopreneur working from home, you definitely want to list your business in Google if you want to be found locally in your market.
And just to clarify, just so I'm not missing it, if someone doesn't want to list their home address, let's say they're a female real estate agent or a single female mortgage professional, something like that, and they just don't want their home address publicized, there's a workaround for that?
Yeah, so there's a workaround when you list your business with Google. It won't show. It will just say like, located in this zip code or serves this area. And then for your website, you could just state, let's say I was a real estate agent. Feuza Reis is a Myrtle Beach real estate agent based in Carolina Forest, serving Myrtle Beach, Pawleys Island, and Charleston. So you could list a few cities on your website just so people get a sense of your location, and Google also gets a sense of which cities you're referring to as far as your business is concerned.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. Now, I have an interesting curiosity. I've often seen on the 3-pack with the local search results on the map, I've often seen vendors that don't have any reviews or very few reviews be right at the top, whereas the ones that have the most reviews aren't even on the map, or are at the bottom of the 3-pack. Why is that?
Sure. So essentially, from what I know, the 3-pack has to do with how close you are to the center of the city. So it's really, so you can't control that, right? I don't know if they changed that recently or not. And if you click on more, you're able to see more. But the results I'm talking about, as far as getting more Google reviews and being found locally, really has to do with just being in the top 10 on page one for whatever term or service that you want to be found for, not necessarily found in the actual pack. Now, also, really, really important that if you want to check your own Google rankings, Googling yourself is not the correct way to check it, because you're usually signed into Gmail, and that will filter and make it personalized results. So in order to check your true ranking, or check up on, a term that you want to see if your competitors are ranking, you can go to Chrome and do incognito mode on the upper right tab. Or there is a site called smallseotools.com. Then you go to keyword position. So a lot of people will just go to Google and look up their word, and they think they're not ranking, or they think they are ranking, and that is not true ranking. So I just want to make sure people know how to check their websites.
Smart. Yeah, I never thought about that. So use the incognito window in Chrome, or if you're not logged into your Gmail account on Firefox or Safari or IE or whatever, then you can use that, correct?
Correct. I mean, I still prefer doing the incognito just in case, or the smallseotools.com. And I could send you this so we could have it in the show notes.
Very cool. That'd be great. Fantastic. Well, that certainly helps. So what are some opportunities that local business owners are missing out on when it comes to getting found online, aside from or in addition to what you've already mentioned so far?
Sure. One thing that I think is an opportunity, and that sometimes we just don't think about it, is definitely collaborating with other vendors and parallel vendors. So let's say I'm a mortgage, you mentioned mortgage broker, right? So a parallel vendor would be a real estate agent, or maybe, interior designer. So somebody that's in a way within your industry, but maybe not a direct competitor. So what you guys could do as far as collaboration is guest posts for each other, because getting links back to your site is still an SEO factor, and Google likes that, because all Google is really trying to do is trying to see, okay, is your site really what you say it is about? Can I trust you? Can I trust your site or blog to send you traffic related to these terms? So the more links you get back pointing to you, it's kind of like getting votes, but not all votes are created equal, just like in politics, right? So the cool thing about getting local links is kind of building off on each other and local IP addresses. So I like to interview other, vendors, and get them on my blog and have them interview me back, so we could give each other a link.
Interesting. And would that interview be a video interview, or would it be text, or both?
It can be a video. Anytime you're doing a vlog, right, which is like a video blog type post, you definitely want to have a summary text of what that video is about, maybe your interview questions, because text is still the basis for SEO. So if you are doing a video interview, you definitely want to have the text portion, but it could be really simply just emailing them, asking them a few questions, and then pasting it over to the blog post, with a couple of pictures.
Very interesting. Okay, cool. I think, time for one more question, and then we'll wrap up.
Awesome.
Should local service pros send people to Yelp, or would they be better off sending them to Google Plus for client reviews, or both?
Okay. I prefer Google. Yelp has really strict rules about the reviews. Like, I've had legit reviews just stripped from Yelp. But I don't mind people going on there and reviewing me. But one caution is, for some reason, when you mention the word Google Plus, that really scares people. So even though your business listing is essentially linked with your Google Plus business listing, what I like to do instead, I kind of created this little template email for my clients. And I'm just like, step 1, Google my business name. Step 2, find me on the right side. and where it says write a review, then write a review, or I send them to maps.google.com. So remember, this is only after you've been verified and that your business is listed, because some people, for some reason, when you mention the word Google Plus, it just makes them nervous or something. So that's
Right.
how I do it. But I do prefer getting the Google reviews first. And if they want to go in and review on Yelp, that's great. Obviously, it depends the kind of business you do. I know for restaurants, Yelp is really huge, salons and things like that.
Fuse, you're going to love me because I'm going to give you a wicked effective little tool that you, along with all of our audience, can use to get a quick link for a pre-populated 5-star review page to come up for your local business.
Awesome.
You guys ready for this? Here it is. It's mytestimonialengine.com/Google-link. mytestimonialengine.com/Google-link. You just enter your business name in there. It'll generate the Google link that you will give to your client to submit a review. It's so easy breezy, lemon squeezy. And the coolest thing is it pre-populates. You can choose the one with the 5-star. So it pre-populates it with 5 stars automatically before they even type a thing. How
Oh,
cool
that's
is that?
fabulous. I just like the shortened URL. So that's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Can't say I never spoil you. Well, it's been awesome, Fuse. I wish we had more time. I've learned a ton. I've been taking a ton of notes here. And the big idea I'm getting from this is that, number one, I just need to be mindful that SEO matters. Number two, content matters. Relevant content for my people. Stuff that actually, makes a difference in their life, that they're querying about or that are keeping them up at night. And then getting
Yes.
that content out in a way that Google and the search engines can find it, index it, and serve it up to prospective clients in the future when they do local search. And I don't have to do all that stuff myself. I can delegate all that minutia to an SEO expert. I can hire someone like Fuse. I could hire someone from the Philippines who's been doing this for years, perhaps. I don't know. I can delegate the minutia. That's the big idea.
Yes.
And not have to do it all myself. So is there any lingering words you would like to have our audience marinate their mind on before we wrap up?
Sure. I did have create a little freebie for your audience. So if they go to getfoundwithfuse.com/local SEO, it's just a little checklist for some local SEO tips.
So get found with Fuse, and that's FUSE.
SE.
Just want to make sure they got it right.
Sure.
FUSE.com
Yep.
//
Yes. Local SEO.
local SEO. Awesome. And is there any other locations that would be best for people to reach out to you if they want to connect with you in the future?
Sure, yes. My email is info@getfoundwithfuse.com and the blog is getfoundwithfuse.com.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for your contribution, Fuse. Thank you for all the great tips and insights you gave us. Thank you for the freebie as well at getfoundwithfuse.com /local SEO. That is all for now, my friends. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Local Domination Podcast, your ultimate guide to get local clients fast. So, if tips galore that help you soar is what you adore, know this, my friends, we've got more in store. Remember, nothing happens without implementation. So in the meantime and between time, go forth, engage. It's time for Operation Domination.